Hello everybody and welcome to my Mac tutorial for beginners. I'm going to give you tips and tricks and just show you around the Mac platform and give you everything you need to know if you are switching from a PC or if you are simply getting a Mac as your first computer. So first of all, if you're watching this and have just gotten your new Mac, congratulations. The Mac is an amazing computer, and I just recently switched from a PC to a Mac, and it is just unlike any other computer experience ever, and it's so amazing. So welcome to the Mac side. You're definitely gonna love it. But right now you're probably feeling a little bit confused or a little bit disoriented, trying to figure out where things are and how you do stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you which is which, and what parts of the Mac you need to know, and just pretty much show you around, show you what everything is called, and how to do some basic functions. So first off, at the top here we have our menu bar, and on the bottom here we have our dock. And the dock is where all your apps are. So you can see here all the apps you need or want are on here. Now this isn't all the apps you have. The apps are in a place called Launchpad, which is right here. So if we click on this, here is all the apps that we have. And we can slide through, we can swipe with your fingers and see all the apps. So this is all the apps we have. But right here in the dock, this is all the apps that we want. So most of the time people will put their most used programs so that they can have quick access to them from their desktop. Now you can also put programs on your desktop, but most of the time people just like to keep it in their dock. So we have a lot of programs here that come preloaded. We also have some that we can install. For example, this is a word processor, Pages, which you get free if you buy a new Mac now with Mavericks. That's a new thing that they're doing. So you get the Office-like applications from Apple for free. So that's a program that you can install. And then like these are two games that I've installed here. And then you have downloads here, which is just a quick thing showing your downloads. And then you have the trash can here. And so you can put apps that come preloaded with it, and you can put stuff that you've installed in there already. And it's really simple to drag apps into there. You can just take an app here and drag it in there, and you can organize them any which way you want. And you can take it out if you don't want it. You can just easily drag it out. And then you see the little white thing, you just drop it. And there it goes. It's all organized and nice there. And then applications will stay there if you choose to, if you drag them into there. But then you can see like this is a program that isn't in my dock, but it is running, and it will appear in the dock. For example, if I just open up a quick app here, let's just open up Dictionary, you can see the app appears in the dock. So then if I want to make it go away, or if I want to get to it, let's say I'm in another app and I want to get back to it, I can simply just click it, and there's my app. So the dock is a really nice program, or a really nice part of the Mac. It kind of is what makes the Mac distinguishable from a PC, because the PC has a taskbar, the Mac has a dock, so they're very similar. But I actually tend to like the dock a little bit better. I just think it looks better. But yeah, that's the dock. That's pretty much probably the most basic Mac thing that you will learn. But the next thing I want to show you is the basics of Windows and the Finder bar right up here, or the menu bar actually. But you can see here right now it says Finder. So this is because basically the Finder is what's running your desktop. It's kind of like, you can basically think of it as what's running your Mac all the time, basically. That's kind of what your Finder is. It's just like Windows File Explorer. But if you don't know what that is just basically, it's what allows you to get to your files, get to the stuff that you have stored on your Mac, whether it be apps or movies or music, whatever that it is. It allows you to access it. And you can see here the name of the program appears right up here, and you can access various functions such as creating new windows. You can edit different things, and all of these functions vary depending on which program you open. For example, if you go into like let's see here, let's go into um, iTunes. You can see iTunes, it comes up differently here, and then we see the iTunes program, and then we have different controls up here that all correspond to the program that we're running. Let's go ahead and quit that real quick. So While I'm in Finder, let me show you some basic window functions. This button right here will close the window. Open that up again. So you can see here, this will close the window. This right here will make the window bigger or smaller. So you can make the window like small here, and then we click it again. It will vary in size, as you can see there. And then this yellow button right here minimizes it to the dock. That's another feature of the dock. It holds our minimized windows. So you can see here we can move our windows around wherever we want them. But yeah, that's where our windows are stored. And another important thing to note about this button is that in most programs, it does not close the program when you click this button. So when you go ahead and click this button right here, there's a little white line there. It's kind of hard to see it, but it is there. You can see that little white glowing thing below the iTunes icon. That means that the program is still running. So, for example, if you have like music playing in the background and you go ahead and close the window, it will not quit the program. iTunes is still running, as you can see there. But then another program, such as like Notes, you can go in here, you can see Notes. If you close it, you can see that little white line goes away. So it kind of depends on the program. But pretty much get in the habit of quitting the program so that you don't accidentally leave it running and use up your system resources that you don't need to be using if you're not using the program. So when you're done with the program, simply click on the name of it and go all the way down to quit, and then quit whatever the program is. Another easy way to do that is to hit the Command key on the keyboard followed by the Q key on your keyboard, and that makes it easy. You can just quit a program super easily. Okay, so let's see here. What else do we have? Another quick feature that I'll show you is Launchpad. I already showed you this, but basically this is all your apps that you have, whether they came with your Mac or you installed them, and you can easily drag and drop them into folders like that, and you can just drag them around. It's really nice to use. I really enjoy using it, and it's just a nice way to organize your stuff. You can move stuff to different screens if you want, and just organize it, basically kind of like an iPad, and you can search through apps here and find them. So it's a really nice way to do stuff, and you can do this by pinching with 3 fingers and a thumb. You can get them, and then you can get them out of the way by pinching outwards with 3 fingers and a thumb. It's kind of hard to show you when you don't have a picture of my trackpad, but I can just kind of explain it. So the next thing is Mission Control, which is a 4-finger swipe up. And you can see here we have Mission Control, and we can easily swipe between desktops. We have different desktops here. And basically what Mission Control is just kind of, it's basically, it's, they aptly named it because it is kind of like your view of everything you're doing on your Mac currently. So let me open up a few programs here. So you can see my desktop's all cluttered. It's like, kind of messy. Let me just mess it around here. Okay, you can see the desktop is kind of messed up. So let's say I want to get to the notes thing, but I'm kind of having trouble getting to it because let's make this kind of different. Okay, you have a bunch of things running, and it's all kind of cluttered. All you have to do is swipe up with 4 fingers, and you can see all the apps that you have running based on your Windows. And it's really easy to do that because then you can just to get the thing. So if you want to get to the Finder, you just click on that. If you want to get to iTunes, get that. If you want to get to Notes, there you go. And you can easily just switch between apps. Another thing that you can do is you can drag Windows to different desktops. So you can drag and drop Notes into desktop 2, and let's go Finder and desktop 3. And then what we can do is we can swipe between them with 4 fingers. We don't have to lift up if we don't want to. We don't have to swipe up. We can just simply swipe between the desktops. And then we have different things going on in each desktop. For example, in one desktop, I can maybe listen to music. And in the other desktop, I could be taking some notes. The other desktop, I could be organizing some files. And I can have a different background for each one. I can have, I know I've had 6 before. I'm not sure how many I have. I have how many you can have, what the maximum is, but I know that you can have quite a few. So it's really a nice way to work. And you can see that you can choose. It's a great way to choose different backgrounds. If you can't decide which background you like, you can just use different ones depending on what you're feeling like. And yeah, that's Mission Control. Another thing you have is your dashboard right here. So you can see here, we have different widgets here that we can move around. It's kind of like the Windows sidebar. We can have various tools here, so we can move these around and choose which ones we want and add new ones. And we can have like little notes, and we can add some, like as you saw there. and you can even download some online, or you can just close them out and get rid of them if you're done with them. So it's easy. It's a great way to just kind of have a little like workspace, and you can easily get to it by just swiping with 4 fingers or swiping up and swiping between them. And you can easily click here. You can swipe up and click between the different desktops, or you can just swipe between them. So it's a really great way to work, and I really like it. It's very efficient. It's always super smooth and fast. And that is mission control. So the next thing is notification center. So if we go in here, we can see everything that's going on our Mac that we need to be notified about. So basically right here, iTunes, you can see your reminders, and we have an option to go into messages real quick. You can adjust these and customize them to see which order you want them in and how many you want them to show. But basically, this is where our notifications come in, and we can swipe with 2 fingers and from the side of the trackpad, or we can just tap this icon on the desktop right there, and that's super easy. And so, for example, let's say we have an upcoming calendar event. Whenever we set it to alert us, just like it does on our phone or our iPad, it'll alert us, and it'll come in this notification center right here. So a quick thing will pop up, like a little white rectangular box will pop up here, and it'll kind of go to the side of the screen as if it's going into the notification center, and we can just check it again right here. And iTunes also alerts you when you're playing your songs, so you can easily skip them, which is a nice feature, and you can just see what was last played pretty much. So that's your notification center. Let's see what else we have here. The menu bar is kind of straightforward. It just kind of shows you your battery functions. You can see the keyboard out keyboard source, volume, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, time machine, AirPlay, quick date and time, and then we have Spotlight here, so we can just search things super easily on our Mac, and we can see all this stuff. We have the top hit here, so it figures the top thing that the top thing that we're most likely to search for, and then we can also see our different documents. And the really nice thing here is that you can search from here. Is that you can go in documents, and then you can see, okay, this is the one I want right here. Right here. There we go. And we can just go in here and swipe through and easily just scroll through and see the different ones, different documents that we have. So we can figure out, is this the one we're looking for? Oh, no, this is not. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, this is the one right here, and then we can go through. Or maybe, this is the one. Oh, wait, no, that's not the one. Or, maybe it's this one. Oh, okay. And then we can just basically see a preview of it, and it's really nice because then we can see, what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and go through the different apps now that we've learned kind of the basic functions. So we already went through Finder. I'll just go through it a little bit more. It's really easy. You can just go through and see all the different stuff you have. You can see, you can grab stuff onto your desktop. You have tags here, so when you go to save a file, you can just tag it, and you can easily go through. The thing that's nice about here is that you can actually read it. It's not like you can do much reading, but you can just skip through, and you can easily open it. And go through, and it's really nice. So it definitely, Finder is definitely a great program, and it's a great way to organize your files and just go through them and access them really easily. So and tagging is a great way to keep them organized as well. So that's Finder. The next thing I want to show you is Maps. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and go to. Let's see. Let's go to Notre Dame. Give a second to load. The thing I really like about this is that it is just beautiful. Like, the stuff will blow you away once it loads. You can see the 3D imaging is just absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do is just give you a beautiful view here. And you can see it just is really, really pretty. And just, it's amazing, the stuff they've gotten. If you have an iPad or iPhone, you probably have done this before, just gone browsing around just to see some beautiful satellite imagery. But it's even better on a Mac because it's a big screen, and you can just go through and really appreciate the images a lot more on this huge screen. I can zoom in here, I can look around, and it just is a really nice way to get a bird's eye view of just about anyone in the world. And of course, you can get directions to places, you can find different things, you can do a lot of stuff with maps, and you can even send directions to your iPhone or iPad. So that's uh, well, to your iPhone. I don't believe you can do it to your iPad because they don't have GPS. But you can send it to your iPhone, and that's a nice feature if you're sitting on your Mac doing some work and you want to get directions to somewhere, and you're going to be carrying around your iPhone, and you just look up the directions, send it to your iPhone, and they'll be on on the lock screen of your iPhone when you're ready to leave. So that's a nice feature. Next one we have is iBooks. This is new to Mavericks, which is the latest version of OS 10, the operating system of Mac, and this allows us to just read books on our Mac. So this is really nice. We can just go, make it bigger if we want. There's another feature I forgot to show you. Let me show you in Finder. Um, it's called full screen. So basically, you click on this, and it carries the app full screen. And basically, there's no close, there's no dock. The menu bar is up there, so you can get to it really easily. And the dock is down here, so we can access it if we want. But basically, everything is all automatically hidden. So we just have this large space to work. It works great on smaller screens, like the 11-inch or 13-inch MacBook Airs. It works great for that. And then when we do go full screen, we are able to see it in the mission control. As I showed you earlier, the mission control, that's another thing it's great for, is accessing your different full screen apps that you have open. And Finder is just recently full screen. It's actually a new feature in Mavericks. But then you can take a book full screen too. It's really great. We can just go ahead and read and just with no distractions whatsoever. Like a 2-page book, kind of as if we were just holding it. And it's just really nice to be able to read through that. So that is iBooks. Then we have contacts and notes and reminders and calendar. That's pretty much the same thing. I'm not going to, or I can go ahead and show you reminders here. And let's do notes at the same time. So we can see your reminders and notes are kind of similar. Notes, just it's easy, allows us to take notes, as you would think. So you just take quick notes. It's great for doing some just quick word processing, writing things down, and you can sync it to your iPhone and iPad with the same email address, with the same email, so that's nice. And then the reminders is pretty straightforward too. You can just go ahead and check stuff off here. And make lists, make reminders, and of course all that is synced via iCloud to your iPhone or iPad, so that is another really nice feature. That's one of the benefits of having Mac and iOS devices. And then we have Photo Booth. I'm not going to open that up because I don't want to show my face, but it's pretty straightforward. It's a fun program that allows you to take pictures of yourself, just normal, or like totally goof out and make crazy pictures of yourself. Just basically morph your face, just like you can do in an iPad. It's really fun and goofy. Messages is another thing that I don't want to show because I got private information on there. FaceTime, same thing. But it's pretty straightforward. FaceTime and messages correspond to their iOS apps. But not all of you have iOS devices, so I'll go ahead and explain that. Messages allows you to send messages between other Apple devices, whether it be iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, or other Macs. You can send messages, and FaceTime is kind of basically like a Skype between iPads, iPhones, iPod Touches, and other Macs with front-facing cameras that can do FaceTime. So that's really nice. App Store is pretty straightforward, just apps. You can go ahead and download apps and stuff, and without having to worry about viruses and stuff, which is really nice because you don't have to worry about doing, having junk on there or installing it from a untrusted source. You can simply just download apps and games and stuff from a large selection in the Mac App Store and know that is from a trusted source. So that's a really nice feature. Mail is another thing I'm not going to show, but it allows you to send and receive mail as you would expect. Safari is a really good program. I'm going to go ahead and show you quite a bit of it here. Let me just pull up a website, like my YouTube channel. So Safari is an absolutely wonderful web browser. So here we can see my YouTube channel. I'll just leave it on here. Up top, we have our bookmarks. We have our top site, as you saw earlier. So we have, kind of a grid of different websites that we visit frequently or that we pin there. And then we have a top bar here so we can access different websites that we use frequently. And then of course we have our other stuff like history and bookmarks and stuff like there. And it's just a really nice web browser. It's really smooth. The scrolling, as you can see, is really nice, which is because on Mac, on just about any Mac you get this animations are really smooth and nice. That's why it's really nice to use a Mac. So yeah, Safari is pretty straightforward. And then you can also have cloud stuff, which is really cool. When you click on this, you can show your iCloud tabs. So any stuff that you've opened in Safari on other Macs or iOS devices will show up there. And let's see here. Let's open up iTunes. iTunes is another program that is just kind of a classic Mac application. And it allows you to go through music. You can do movies, TV shows, audiobooks, books, apps. And these are books that you can read. Actually, it's a feature you can't even use. Never mind. That's in iBooks. So that's not even there anymore. But you can go through apps. Here you can see it's really easy to just manage iOS apps from right in your Mac. Ringtones, movies, music, and you got straightforward music player. And you can see the album artwork, which is a nice way to just listen to your music on your desktop. And just manage just your content so that, and of course you can browse the iTunes store from here. So that's a really nice feature. That's kind of just a classic Mac feature. Next, I'm going to show you iPhoto, iMovie, and GarageBand. Okay, and here we have iPhoto, which is an excellent program. I absolutely love working with it for managing my photos. You can easily just view photos here. So here's some photos that have been taken. You can swipe between with 2 fingers and just easily view nice photos. And it's just a great way to view stuff and just to view your photos and enjoy them. And you can easily sort them by face, which is a really nice feature. I'm not going to show faces or photos because they have faces in them, but you can view where you've taken them. You can see your recent, last 12 months, last import. You can flag ones. You can put them in the trash. Obviously, iCloud. You can have them in PhotoStream. You can actually have them stream directly from PhotoStream or download directly to Mac from PhotoStream, which is a nice feature. And then you can, create different events and albums, slideshows. It's just a great way to manage your photos. It's a nice feature of the Mac I really love and have been really enjoying using it. Next thing here is iMovie, and iMovie is equally as awesome. Now all of these are free with your Mac. So here's one of my recent videos. I'll just show you here, and it's a really great program to use. You can just scroll through. It's there's no lag or anything. That has to do with your Mac's processor, obviously. But most Macs should run iMovie smoothly. It's not too big of a program. But you can see you can edit video clips. You can add various different titles and stuff like this. You can add in transitions. There's lots of different stuff to choose from. You can create new projects, movies, or trailers, like Hollywood-style trailers. And you can see you have different themes and stuff like that. And you can just do a lot of stuff with this. So it's a very powerful program, and it actually does some pretty professional editing. I'm gonna go ahead and show you Pages because it is now comes free with any Mac that you buy, and with the Mavericks on it. If you buy a Mac with Mavericks, you get these free. So let me just go in here and open this, and you can see here it's a really nice word processor to use. It's very simple. That's why I like it, especially as being a writer. I like being able to go through and just edit my stuff and write without any stuff being in my way. So it's really easy to write here. You can just go in here, add some stuff. You have a built-in spell checker right here. So this here, you can tell to learn spellings if you've made up words and stuff like that for characters. But what's really nice is you can do a 3-finger tap, and then this feature has to be enabled in settings, but you can enable it. And you can go in, let's go here, and you can view from a dictionary, a thesaurus, and Wikipedia, a thesaurus, which is really nice because you can go in here and just, if you're a writer, figure out which words you could use instead, and you can format it, get your text font and stuff. But it's a really nice program to use. It's just great. So lastly, I will show you system preferences. This is all sorted, so it's really nice. You can go through and go through different settings. There's not too many settings that I would say that have to be tweaked um, when you get your Mac, like as far as learning goes and stuff, because a lot of the stuff is optimized. It kind of depends on personal preferences. The one feature that I would definitely recommend turning on is this feature. If you don't have this feature on, it absolutely most likely it will drive you insane, because when you have this turned off, you have to go into the bottom of the trackpad, like here, and actually physically push down on it every time you want to click something, and that is just absolutely mind-boggling. It totally just is frustrating. So when you get a Mac, make this the first feature you turn on. If that's most likely, I'm sure that you're not going to want to have to touch physically push down on that every single time. I highly doubt that you would want to do that every time you want to click. So you can have a secondary click, so it's like a right click, but it's not considered right click because you can click or you tap with two fingers. So you can tap with two fingers, as you can see here, and then you get a pop-up menu to access more functions. So that works on just about any type of file or anything. You can just tap it, and you can see new options. Or you can select it to click in bottom right corner or bottom left corner. So you could say like here, and then now I'm clicking in the bottom left corner, and that would be my right click. But I actually like it to click or tap with two fingers. And the reason they say click with two fingers is because there is options right here. The whole Mac trackpad in the newer models um, have a whole like surface that's clickable. So you can go in with two fingers and push down with two fingers, or you can just tap with two fingers, whatever you want to do. So that's really nice. Another thing that you can do to click is you don't have to. Actually, I was wrong when I said on here you have to go down and push down on that, because you actually don't have to. You can just push down anywhere. So you can see here, like if I want to click this, I can push down on the trackpad, but you can't see me doing that because it's a screen recording. But you can push down on the trackpad instead of having to tap. So a little bit easier, but I still like having the tap to with one finger turn on. It's a little bit easier to go down into the left corner, like you have to do on most PCs. You just push down, but I still like that feature. But anyway, there's scroll and zoom. This is one that's controversial. The scroll direction, natural or non or like standard. It's gonna cause a lot of debate. If you scroll downward, it actually makes the content go upward. I can show you in a document here. Which actually, no, never mind. I can't show you because it's a screen recording. But if you scroll, you can see here the person's doing. They're scrolling down, but the page is going up, and it's kind of basically at the same direction as the touchscreen. Some people will like that, some people won't. So you can turn that on or off. Zoom in or out, smart zoom, double tap with two fingers. You can pretty much go through here and figure out what you want, what you don't want. So it's a nice way to figure out which features you want to use and which ones you don't want to use. Another quick gesture I'll show you here is there are a few quick gestures. Three finger drag is one I really like. You can drag your thing around with three fingers. As you can see that, I really like that feature. Another thing is to show the desktop, you can spread with your thumb and three fingers. They're just there. And I really like that to get rid of clutter. So if you have a bunch of stuff open, it's a really nice way to work and do that. So that's pretty much it. That is your Mac. That's just some quick tips showing you around all the apps. Another quick thing I'll show you is the Apple menu. It's kind of like the start menu. I forgot to cover that when I showed you the menu bar, but you can access various functions and quick settings, and this is how you sleep, restart, or shut down. So that's how you do that functions, or you can log out, whatever you want to do in that little menu. So that's kind of like the start menu, but you also have a lot of stuff like the taskbar kind of slash start menu functions are kind of, it's kind of like you have the start menu up here, and some of the stuff you normally would have on a window in Windows, you kind of have it up here, and then the taskbar. Instead of that, you have the dock. But that's pretty much it. I mean, in the window, the icons for or window closing and opening and stuff like that, minimizing, maximizing is over here instead. But that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to learn. And if you're watching this and considering buying a Mac, switching from a PC, or just buying one as your first computer, I do hope that you are encouraged by this. And if you are considering buying a Mac, please let me know in the comments, and I will give you some good reasons of why I think a Mac is great. um, or I do have a review of my MacBook Air 11-inch 2013 edition on my channel, so go check that out. And there's lots of other reviews of other Mac products on YouTube, so be sure to check those out as well if you're thinking about buying a Mac. And I hope this tutorial helped. If you did buy a Mac and we're trying to figure out how to use it, I hope this helped. I hope this video helped. And be sure to let me know if you need any other more specific tips, and I will do my best to try to let you know some basic navigational stuff and tips on how to do that on the Mac. I would love to help, so be sure to let me know down in the comments. And thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more tech videos like these, as well as Lego stuff. And have a great day, and I hope you enjoy your new Mac.